let's do quickly a review or a preview of the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view event coming this weekend from Las Vegas. Are you ready for this one?
That's right. It's from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Double or Nothing. Can I pick nothing?
I think you can, and we'll see.
But do we have to watch it?
We do have to watch it. People are expecting it.
We don't have to watch it twice. It's not double or nothing. We can just watch it once.
We certainly can. We certainly will only be watching this once. Although a match or two may be special, but here's the card. I believe this first match will be on the pre-show. Hookhausen, the team of Hook and Danhausen, will take on Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling.
Oh, good Lord. All right, so let's just take Hook, who was a little something special, getting over organically, and let's put him in with a manager and a fucking comedy mascot that's about to replace Pockets. They got a new one-joke joke. 3 years of a guy with his hands in his pockets, and now it's going to be 3 years of a guy painting his face up like Cesar Romero on the 66th series of Batman and trying to curse people with his pointed finger.
On the heels of that match, for the AEW TBS Championship, Jade Cargill, the champion with the baddies, versus Anna Jay.
Oh, geez. Where did we know about this? Where did this come from?
I'm just seeing this now. I didn't know that this was the match.
Oh, boy. From what I remember of Anna Jay, is she the one that's not good or really rotten?
Well, she's not rotten, and she's somewhat good. She's young and new to the business, and she looks great, and she's athletic, so there's a world of potential there.
Well, let's see if those worlds collide or not.
And I have to think that her and Jade are probably training together, all things considered, considering who works with them, and they've probably been working on this match a while, so it'll be interesting to see how this comes out.
I would hope they've been training every single day. It'll be easier that way.
For the men's Owen Hart Cup tournament final, it will be Adam Cole versus either Kyle O'Reilly or Samoa Joe, and while we have not been very high on Adam Cole's work of late, those are two intriguing opponents, Samoa Joe or Kyle O'Reilly for him.
For business, it should be Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe should beat him. For the sake of a really good match on pay-per-view, it should be Adam Cole against Kyle O'Reilly, and Kyle O'Reilly should beat him. But I have a feeling of those two options, Tony will go to column C, and he'll put Adam Cole over whoever because of his backwards booking philosophy of bringing big stars in, beating them with undercard talent, and then having them go over main event guys. So I'd love to see Samoa Joe get a big push, win the whole fucking thing. I would take Kyle O'Reilly. I'll be disappointed if Adam Cole's doomed run is rewarded with this thing over either of those guys who still have potential. Kyle has been damaged a little more than Joe. Joe's kept himself strong and hasn't been booked to do anything horribly stupid except for his interaction with, Zippy the Giant Pinhead.
For the women's Owen Hart Cup tournament final, it will be either Tony Storm or Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus either Ruby Soho or Chris Statlander of Long Island.
Can we pick none of the above? Where are we going to see those final two slots locked in? They're not going to double whammy us on Wednesday night's Rampage, are they? As something or Wednesday night's Dynamite. Maybe they'll save something for the show nobody watches.
Maybe, I'm not sure. And I think Rampage may be live this week because of them being in Vegas for the show. But the next match, for the AEW Women's World Championship.
Oh, Jesus. How many girls matches? How many matches, period?
10 matches altogether with the pre-show match. But Thunder Rosa, the champion, versus Serena Deeb.
I think it'll be probably the best girls match in ring that they can put together. I hope that there's no more long-winded promos, but I will watch that match. I won't watch the other girls. I'm probably have 10 matches. I'm going to tell you now, but I'll watch that one because they actually know what they're doing.
for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, with their chaperone Christian Cage, versus Team Taz, minus Taz, versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland.
Okay, maybe I will watch Jane Cargill's match. I get a triple threat tag team match in this company with the fucking dinosaur. It's going to be unbearable. This will be, I don't care what happens because it's not going to make any sense and it's going to be a shitty match. I don't think there's any way I'd love to see Keith Lee and Swerve against Starks and Hobbs. That would be great. But the other two in there will fuck the whole thing up and it won't make any sense. And probably if I had my druthers, I'd put the belts on Starks and Hobbs out of this just to get them off fucking Dino Douche and, his little sidekick. What was Baloo in the Jungle Book? We ought to start calling Jungle Boy Baloo. Was he the kid or was he the bear? No, Baloo was the bear. Mowgli was the kid in the Jungle Book. Mowgli and Dino. That's who they are now.
And again, there could always be interference. There could always be something we don't expect, but...
Oh, well, there's gonna be.
Well, what I'm going to say is, as of this point in the show, as we're going through the card, and I can see the rest of the card here, there's no FTR on this show.
Well, no. Why would they want to put the best tag team in the company that are having singly or as a duo the best matches in every promotion these days? They don't want them to go out there and show these other mooches up.
Then we have the men's Smith Hart Cup tournament final.
Wait a minute.
What? The Jericho Appreciation Society, comprised of Chris Jericho, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, Daniel Garcia, and Jake Hager, versus Eddie Kingston, Santana, Ortiz, and the Blackpool Combat Club, comprised of Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley, with William Regal. Anarchy in the arena.
And a partridge in a pear tree. So obviously no DQ, no rules, a bunch of furniture, stupid sports entertainment shit, and it will go a while. That's my prediction. I don't care who wins. It doesn't make any sense anyway, and it's not going to do anything for their business. If all of those people, and Danielson, in my opinion, and we've talked about it, is one of the biggest stars in wrestling at this point that they've now hidden and neutralized. But even though there are some talented people in that match, this match, as it is presented, as it has been built, and as it will be performed, is not going to make one bit of difference to their fucking business whatsoever. It's just going to goddamn make everybody more miserable and give some people a headache.
Well, the next match, 6-man tag team action, otherwise known as a trios match. The House of Black, comprised of Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King, will take on Death Triangle of Pac, Penta Obscuro, and Rey Fenix, with Alex Abrahantes.
Jeez. I wonder if they'll put them in the Death Triangle in the death spot. After the 10-man, they'll just drop it down to a 6-man. And they're going to do the same kind of shit.
But will we see a possessed Julia Hart? That's the question.
Oh, hopefully. Hopefully she'll be repossessed. Again, this is going to be a mess. They're going to get in their own way. Death Triangle, Pac had all that potential, and wow, look at him. He looks great. His booking has been shit. He was gone in the pandemic. We understand that, but he won't get off the fucking top rope. There is a point in every match where he goes up there and just takes forever to do some shit that makes no sense. He can't edit himself. And Penthouse and Felix are what they are. We've seen it. We've seen it. And the black fellas over there on the other side, Buddy, I mean, this is going to be an indie outlaw wrestling fan's dream match. Because they're going to do all the
no.
things that the indie outlaw wrestlers do.
No, that match won't be a dream match for the indie fans. The next match will. It is Hardy versus Hardley.
Oh, God.
The Hardy Boys of Jeff and Matt Hardy versus the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, with their handler, Brandon Cutler.
Yes, and I understand that he gives them handies on a regular basis. So here's what they did, was they brought FTR in and they beat him. And then they never gave him a rematch for a year and a half. And then they give him a rematch, and FTR actually has the secret to having a great match with anybody, even the Hardley boys, the Cucamonga kids. So now, instead of the rubber match on a big pay-per-view, we get the dream match that would have been a dream match if they'd have done it first when they reunited the Hardys, and the Hardys had reunited themselves against the Cucamonga kids. But since we have now seen not only the Hardys reunited against job guys, but also singles matches, tag team matches, the groundbreaking first time ever Jeff Hardy versus Adam Cole, and neither of the Hardys look like they can get up in the morning without calling a wrecker from AAA, much less fucking take bumps, and the matches have all been the shits, and their booking and creative has been caca. I bet you that the Cucamonga kids will beat the Hardys, and there'll be some fucking foolishness in the finish where the Cucamonga kids actually end up beating the Hardys flat, but can pretend they had an out. And FTR ain't on the card because they would have a better tag team match with two fucking schlubs from the hot dog stand than this match will be, because the Hardys are broken down. The bloom is off the rose. They've exposed the Hardys now and made them regular talent on the roster. Just two more of the boys, nothing special anymore. And now they have this match. They have botched this probably worse than they've botched anything in recent memory.
Well, Jim, another match that we expect to see will be MJF versus Wardlow.
Well, and they can't actually advertise it because Wardlow hasn't finished going through all of his hoops and bells and whistles yet, right?
Correct.
But obviously, they better have it. And that's what's drawing the money. There is, of all the card that you just delineated, those are matches that the AEW fans, I'm sure, will love, because they're the same kind of matches that they see all the time, and they were the people that were already going to buy this thing anyway, and they were the people already going to watch it and already interested in it. There is one match on this card, 1.5, that would actually sell a pay-per-view or move a ticket if the parameters, if the reasoning was just, we want to see what's going to happen. There's only two matches where you really want to see they want to see a bunch of fucking car wrecks and furniture and people taking goofy bumps, but what's really going to happen, because we're interested in these people, in these personalities, who the winner and loser is, not just a bunch of cool stunts and tricks. You've got Wardlow and MJF, and you've got, I said, a match and a half. You got Punk and Page, because even though Page is about as interesting as a goddamn smelly wash rag after you've washed your crotch, people want to see what Punk's going to do and whether or not he's going to win it. But MJF and Wardlow, in large part, is the heat of this card. It better go on last, or if it doesn't, and Punk and Page goes a little long, they may see an early exodus from this thing in the arena.
Wardlow MJF prediction.
Well, I think it's, let me say this. There would be a way, if somebody was really creative, for MJF to beat Wardlow. But I'm thinking that because of what they've got going, I think Wardlow needs to get a victory, not a decisive victory. And I'm not talking about a DQ or a count out or whatever. I'm talking about he got him, but he didn't get him. 1, 2, 3, but something else happened, or it was close, or there was a malfunction at the junction, miscommunication, Wardlow got that, but then they do something heinous to keep it going. I don't know that you want to put Wardlow's shoulders down right now. And MJF has lost, what, twice? Is that where we're at?
I think so.
You're looking it up now in the official record book.
He's never been pinned, though.
But he's lost twice. So once a year, and this one, if it's a pinfall, I don't think that would be bad with the performances he's given and the people are into him. If you're going to do it, this might be the time. And then if he becomes the AEW champion in the next year or so, well, Wardlow was the first guy to beat the guy who currently holds the AEW title, that type of thing.
And what is your prediction for the AEW World Championship match? Not what you want to happen or what you think should happen, but what do you think will happen?
What I think will happen is some way or another, Adam Page could come out of that thing still the champion. And I think that is exactly what shouldn't happen. Because it's over. The experiment is over. Nobody gives a shit about this milksop. And that's the way you portrayed him and made him look. He had all the potential in the world at the start 3 years ago. Young, good-looking guy, athletic. People already like him. And and he can work and do some shit if you kept him away from sometimes his worst instincts. But what have they done? They've stuck him with twinkle toes. They booked him to be a drunk and an idiot and associated him with job guys and had him do comedy. And then they ended up with the two biggest names they've signed since they came into business, Punk and Danielson. Both came in at the same time, and because Tony Khan didn't take his Ritalin or whatever it is that day and calm himself down, said, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and do what I was going to go 2 years ago when I had no fucking thought that CM Punk or Bryan Danielson would ever work for me. And I'm going to put the belt on this fucking yahoo that we've booked into being a fucking numbnuts. And now he's got the weakest world champion in wrestling and nobody gives a shit except the people that are already there. And the people that are already there, you can't run them off. But the people that ain't there, you can't fucking drag them in with free beer and pussy. So there you go. I hope Punk wins it and then has a nice program with Danielson. Just so I'd enjoy watching this show every once in a while.
That would be nice. And of course, Tony Khan's been making some roster moves lately. We've seen wrestlers have their contracts expire and they vanish or light themselves on fire. Different things have happened. But perhaps AEW could start pushing them in a different direction, saying, look, you can't work here anymore. And maybe wrestling overall isn't for you, but we know a place where you can learn a skill that you can apply for a new trade and a new job.
But you know what? Maybe it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive, Brian, because I've been thinking about this. And if the wrestlers in AEW are not qualified to be professional wrestlers and they need to change their careers, well, maybe if they could somehow learn to write inexplicable gibberish that's sufficiently indecipherable enough to earn a spot as a pro wrestling writer, well, then they could still work for the company, just in a different position. And folks, if you want to go to school and learn how to write a bunch of shit that nobody in the world knows how to read, you need Codecademy. If I'm talking right now, they will teach you how to write the biggest bunch of gibberish you've ever seen in your life. Nobody knows what the fuck this shit says, but it works somehow. So, whether you want to learn all the coding languages like Morse and Semaphore and Python and HTML and Squall and JavaScript, if you want a new career as a pro wrestling creative writer where everything that you put on paper has to completely confuse everybody and make no logical sense to any flat-footed human being walking the face of God's green earth, you need to put some of this gobbledygook down on paper with the folks at Codecademy. A new career where they will pay you to do this. Even the people paying you won't know what the fuck it is you're doing, but they'll pay you to do it because it's hot and it's trendy. Folks, right now you can advance with skills to build websites. There's something else nobody knows how they work. but people use them.
Well, people know how they work. People do know how they work. The
Nobody
people at
knows how
Codecademy
that
know how
shit
they work.
works.
That's why they teach you.
Well, that's because Codecademy is in. We've talked about. I didn't want to make mention of the lizard people and the bots that are going to take over the world. They're in. So Codecademy knows, but nobody else knows. But they'll throw money at you if you've got these skills because it's trendy, folks. This is the wave of the future. This is how people are going to be supporting themselves coming up after I'm gone in potentially a week or two. Folks, you can join the over 50 million people learning to code with Codecademy and see where coding can take you. You'll get everything from a programming personality quiz. You take that, and then not only will they tailor career advice for you, but they will also recommend friends you need to dump and habits you need to change.
No, they won't.
It's a personality quiz to make your personality fit in with the rest of the bots at Codecademy. You'll get instant feedback like never do this again or change your shorts. And they'll test your code. And then if you get it right, they will do a mind meld with you so you can pass that information on to other people by mental telepathy.
It's not how it works.
You can build your portfolio and get a certificate of completion once you're completed. And once you're completed with Codecademy, folks, you're finished. So right now, land your dream job in web development, programming, computer science, data science, and tons more, including asphalt and driveway resurfacing. That's what they're doing behind me right now at the neighbor's house. You can get 15% off your Codecademy Pro membership right now when you go to Codecademy.com and use the promo code EXPERIENCE. That's promo code EXPERIENCE at Codecademy.com to get 15% off Codecademy Pro, the best way to learn to code. That's CODECADEMY.com, promo code EXPERIENCE. Pal around with the bots and the lizard people, and maybe you can even get a job in wrestling with Codecademy.